Okay, so before I start this one, if you have not seen my ghost video, which I put up a week before this, that one I had a lot of fun making that video, and I've never actually, well, I've told my family once, but I've never actually like told anyone else the story. So now it's kind of like a record. So if you have not seen that, you can go watch that. It's like 24 minutes long. I have a lot of setup I have to do, so that's why it's kind of so long. So you go in the middle of the video, you can get to it if you want to just skip through all the setup, but the setup's important. This one here, this one is more so. It's not. It's more like a fun video than it is like an actual. Oh, like this is actually facts. I'm stating facts. Is actually what I found. Like, and we know what it is. Like this one, it's more so just a fun thing. But I have photo proof. So we'll go ahead. We're gonna put up the we'll put it on this side. I always do on my left side here, but it's the right side for me. But the camera's flipped. We'll go ahead and put up the first one. So you know, we'll just kind of give some backstory here first too. So this was in the Badlands in kind of like the edge of North and South Dakota. We were like almost out to Wyoming. But this was a big trip we had planned. This was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So this was before COVID. This was I think this was 20. Hang on, I have a date. I think there's a date on these photos I can look at. I have the photos pulled up. So let me just. Can I? Oh, July 2019. Okay, so this was literally like 8 months before COVID happened is when we got this trip in. So this was one of the biggest trips I've ever been on. I guess probably the second because I've been down south. I've been all the way down to Georgia. That was probably my best trip I've had. I've never been super far out west like Oregon, Washington, California. I've never been that far, which one day I hope to get there. But this was my second biggest trip I've ever taken. Went with a bunch of family, went with cousins, aunt and uncles, and so. If you don't know what the Badlands are, it's way out in the plains, kind of. You have to kind of get closer to like the mountain range in the middle of the U.S. If you're not from U.S., and obviously I know at least one person on this channel, is it basically the U.S. is kind of divided up into two sections, and right in the middle, well, not the exact middle, but there's a mountain range kind of not all the way down, but it cuts through a lot of the middle of the U.S. So. You have to get almost out there, and basically the side that I live on, the side of the mountain, which is kind of like the right side, I guess we'll call it, like the eastern side, we'll call it. We're called the Midwest because we're mainly plains, and it's mainly just a lot of flat earth around. So this is you're going way towards the mountains, and the Badlands are kind of like the start of a mountain range, essentially. So. Again, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're almost in Wyoming, which, if you don't know, Wyoming is one of the most dead states. But same with North and South Dakota too. There's not a lot of people there. And so the Badlands are basically a tourist attraction and whatnot. It's it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of regrettable going in July because it was so warm. At the time, and the nights, I think it only got down to like 60 or 70 degrees at night. So. It was baking, and luckily, we went on. They have different trails, and what we went on. I don't know if I have that picture. I guess I could put a picture of that up too. It's called the Medicine Trail, and they have stakes, and I took a picture of the stake. I don't know if I have. I'll look for that after. We'll do that. We'll do editing. When I can do that. So point is, we went on this trail called the Medicine Trail, which it's basically just kind of like a big loop. You just kind of you start at on this road. You get off. There's like a little bridge kind of thing that you kind of cross over, and then it's just a big loop. But you end up about maybe a quarter mile down the road, not too far away from where you started. And so I guess like a crescent, I guess you could say, just like half a moon. And so we started going on this. I was just kind of walking along with my cousins, and we kind of got separated from the adults. I mean, I guess I was like 19 at the time. So, but point is, like, we kind of went on our own thing, kind of went ahead a little bit, and about maybe I don't even think half a mile, because this was only maybe like a 3 mile, 4 mile trek. It was not very long at all. And I mean, some people are going, 3 miles, that's really long. But no, it's not, because they've had, there was like a 15-mile one, there's like a 20-mile one. And again, this was middle of summer. This was July. And we went in the morning, and it was already probably around 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees. Like, it was, we were out there 9 a.m., and it was almost baking already. So, we started this, and again, only maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile into this, 3-4 mile little trail here. That's when we found the picture, this side. That's when we found the footprints here. And so, at first you think, okay, well, why are people running around here barefoot? If it's not a road, it's not even really gravel. It's literally just like hard dirt, and there's rocks everywhere. I mean, there's sections where even there was not a lot of grass growing. So it was like not exactly a desert, but it was like almost that. Like, there was sections where it was just dirt, just rocks all over. And so, again, it's middle of July. Now, I don't know, I can't date these footprints. Obviously, I don't think they're 100,000 years old or something like that. Like, I don't think they're that old. But they don't feel like they were like they weren't just like 30 minutes before we got there, and that, like, these were kind of, and as you can kind of see in the photos, like, they're not like they just happened. So this could have been, a month or something. Like again, I'm not the best. I can't date a footprint. Like, I would need an actual scientist to do that for me. And who knows? Maybe it's still out there. I don't know. Obviously it's been 4 years, and I'm sure it's rained, so maybe the footprints are gone. But I'm happy I got the pictures. Point is, we found the first one, and then we found a second one. And I'll put that, we'll put that up, we'll switch it up, we'll put that up here. So it's 1, 2, and then we found, so it's kind of, again, the camera's opposite of me, but it's kind of going left. So it's going left into this little section of grass here. And so we found 1, 2, and then there's a third one where just underneath, and I'll kind of, I might put that over here. I might put 2 and 3 up. Or I might just figure out a way to put all 3 up. But, like, you can tell, like, it's walking. Like, so this thing is walking. It's I don't want to say it's a human foot, but because obviously, this is a fun, like, mysterious story. So I'm gonna, we're not gonna say it might not be human, but point is you can see 3 footprints, and then it kind of goes into this grassy area, and you can't really see anything else. Like you can't. We couldn't find anything. We actually kind of searched around a little bit. My cousin, I think, has photos too. But we only got the same 3 footprints. So, like, we couldn't find anything else. And so, again, that's like the speculation part of, like, hey, like, is this like a child running around? Is this like, I don't know, like a teen running around barefoot? But then you add it up, it's like, okay, if it was winter, the footprints obviously wouldn't be here because, the plains are going to be covered in snow. Like, they're going to get a lot of snow. If you know anything, if you hear anything about weather, usually mountains, and then usually kind of, North, South Dakota, they usually get, like, snow, sometimes, like, October, sometimes, obviously, Michigan can get that too, so it just kind of depends, but usually they can get a lot of snow, a lot of feet of snow, so that's, to me, it's like, okay, well, these footprints aren't from the winter because, like, the ground would be frozen, and there would be no snow. So then that means that this would have had to take place in the summer, which means, again, a lot of rocks around. Why is again, these aren't, these huge footprints. They're maybe like a young teen to a kid that's maybe 10 years old, something around there. Like, these aren't the biggest feet in the world. But no other bare footprints, no other shoe footprints around. And why you're running around in the summer, spring, rocks all over, on the ground, on this hard ground, why is it, why are you doing it kind of alone? So that's why, to me, that's the intrigue to me, is that you have footprints in this, again, no real, like, actual, shoe footprints around. Now, I think I think later on, I think there was like a leaking water thing like farther down, so you could see some shoe prints further down. But like where I found the footprints, there was like nothing. It was just again just hard, dry dirt. So that's the intrigue to me. It's like, okay, well, why are these solo footprints here? Again, to me, it was like a younger person, or again, possibly, a younger, if you want to say Bigfoot or whatever, go ahead. But again, alone kind of seems weird to me. You have these days, again, in the summer, it got, the day we went there in July, was it July 14th or whatever it was, it got to like 100 degrees. There's no shade anywhere. There's, I could pull this up, but there's, there's mountain ranges, and there's, we have pictures of rams actually, just kind of sitting up, bathing in the sun. But there's literally nothing around, no shade for these rams or these other animals or whatever. So it's either you come out during the night, which again, that could have happened. Maybe these footprints are from, someone later at night or really early in the morning. But why is there only one set of footprints? So that's the thing that really intrigues me, and that's the thing. Again, I'm not gonna just say, oh, it's a Bigfoot. I'm not just gonna flat out call it that. But I have these. They're on my phone. I have them, on screen here too. And I don't know what they are. I don't know exactly, what's going on. I'm not gonna, again, it's fun to kind of just sit here and go, oh, this is a mysterious little thing. But as you start to add stuff up, I don't have an answer for why these footprints are here. Again, I don't know why, we couldn't find any more, so I don't know, that, like, there's so many questions here I have for this. And again, there's not really a lot of answers, not really a lot of like, hey, like, this is what we know. I'm sure there's probably, sightings of, Bigfoots or whatever. I mean, usually it's kind of like a mountain range, but again, that's kind of like the edge of it, so maybe it's coming down, to the plains. I don't know. Not a lot of water. Not really, like, again, I talked, I just said, like, there was, like, a little leak, a spring leak or something, from, like, a little, edge of, like, a little mountain, that was kind of, like, further down, but I don't know if that was really drinkable water. Like, I'm not gonna test it. But there really isn't, there's not a lot of lakes out there, at least the part we went to, maybe other parts of the Badlands, but, the trails we went to, it's basically, again, it was kind of like a dry, not like a dry desert, but like an almost deserty atmosphere around that part of the park, around that part of, the state, essentially. So, yeah, I'll let you make up your decisions what you want. Again, you can see the photos on screen around me, but that's, I have proof of that. I don't have proof of a ghost, because obviously you can't really get proof of a ghost. That's way harder to do, than getting proof of footprints. But, I don't know how old the footprints were. I don't even know if they're still there 4 years later, because, again, rain might have washed them away. It's been 4 years. If you think, like, an area like that is going to get no rain for 4 years, then there's something wrong with the earth. There's something wrong. Like, we're all going to die if, like, a whole state, a whole section is not getting rain for 4 years. So, you can go out there, but I doubt there's anything out there. Maybe you find different footprints in other places, but, the medicine trails that we went on, but it was pretty hot that day. So I can see why maybe someone would take their shoes off. But again, like, these weren't adult footprints. So why is a younger person going alone out there? And, I'm not going to say it's like, a 5-6-year-old, but it's kind of uncommon to kind of just see like a 10, 11, 12-year-old. Well, maybe not, I feel like a 12-year-old would at least want to go with someone else. But, it's not really, you don't really see that a lot. And again, out in basically the middle of nowhere, there's a lot of hiding spots, throughout the mountains and whatnot. Like, obviously, yes. But I don't know. It's just like, it's weird circumstances to see that. Now, imagine this is like a missing person case, and I just like help. I just help people, like, oh, hey, look at we found some clues. But again, I don't think footprints are out there. But yeah. So if you want to claim it's a mysterious Bigfoot sighting, go ahead. If you want to say it's a lost teenager, lost kid on the run, or whatever, I'll let that spectrum be wide. I'll let you kind of pick what you want. Again, this is just a more fun video than my ghost story was. Because again, I don't have answers to this. I don't like just what happened was we just walked on a trail and found footprints. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I don't really have anything else. Like I don't like nothing too crazy has really happened to me. Like I don't have these stories of I saw something in the woods, because I haven't really had like experiences in the woods. You know, we have land out in the middle of Wisconsin, but like there's not really. You don't really hear people talking about sightings or anything. Like I have a bunch of family that lives in the countryside. They haven't really said anything, so I don't really have like a lot of these stories where it's like, let me just make this a series. Like these two things are basically it. This is basically all I have. So again, maybe if you want me to continue, we can go find. I'm sure there's probably stories on Reddit or all these other like writing websites. Maybe we can watch some videos of this kind of stuff. So if you want more of this, I can go find more. It won't be my personal experience, but we can go find other people's experience. We could even do like, are we debunking this? Is this something that is flat out fake? And again, this is why my story here, I'm not gonna say it was like a Bigfoot. I'm not gonna say it was some mysterious creature that had human footprints. So like I don't want to flat out say that, but it's just the way the circumstances were. And, again, they didn't feel like they were from, a year or 3 or 4 or 5 before, because I feel like the footprints would have been washed away by the rain and you wouldn't have been able to see them. So, I don't know. But again, if you want more of this stuff, let me know down below. Like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm going to get out of here. Peace.